Have you ever found yourself waking up at 3 a.m. for no clear reason and then just lying there, wide awake, staring at the ceiling? If so, you're not alone. Many older adults experience this same early morning wake up, and it can be frustrating, confusing, and even a little worrying. You might start to wonder, is something wrong with my body? Why can't I sleep like I used to? Well, the good news is waking up at 3 a.m. isn't always a problem. In fact, it can be your body's way of telling you something important. In this video, we'll talk about 5 surprising reasons why people tend to wake up around this time as they get older. Each reason is connected to something real, whether it's your hormones, your health, your daily routine, or even your emotions. And once you understand what's really going on, you might stop blaming yourself and start working with your body instead of against it. So if you're tired of tossing and turning and wondering what's going on, stick with us. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of your sleep, and maybe even a little more peace of mind. Let's get started. Reason number 1. Lower melatonin as you age. One of the biggest reasons many older adults wake up around 3 a.m. is simple. Your body makes less melatonin than it used to. Melatonin is a natural hormone that helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. When you were younger, your body made plenty of it every night. That's why it was easier to sleep through the night without waking up. But as we age, melatonin levels go down, and that can cause you to wake up in the early morning hours, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m. even if you fell asleep just fine the night before. You might not wake up because of a noise or a bad dream. You wake up because your brain is slowly becoming more alert, and there just isn't enough melatonin left to keep you sleeping. Now here's the important part. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean your sleep is broken. It just means your body is changing, and that's okay. And sometimes, even little things in your bedroom can make this worse. A blinking light on the alarm clock, a street light outside your window, or even a night light in the hallway can lower melatonin even more. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to light, especially at night. Take Harold, for example. He's 72 and has always been a pretty good sleeper. But lately, he's been waking up around 3:15 every morning. He's not anxious, just fully awake, as if it's time to start the day. Once Harold learned that this was a normal part of aging and not something he was doing wrong, he made a few small changes. He turned off screens an hour before bed, made his bedroom darker, and started taking short evening walks. These little habits helped his body know, hey, it's still nighttime, keep sleeping. And while he still wakes up early once in a while, Harold now feels more at peace. He's learned to work with his body, not fight against it. That's the power of understanding what's really going on. Reason number 2. Your body's clock has moved earlier. Another big reason you might be waking up at 3 a.m. is because your body's internal clock has shifted. This is something called advanced sleep phase, and it's a normal part of getting older. Here's what happens. As we age, our natural rhythm starts to change. We begin to feel sleepy earlier in the evening, and we tend to wake up earlier in the morning. You might notice you can't stay awake through a late-night movie anymore. Or maybe you wake up at dawn even when you wish you could sleep in. That's not just a habit. That's your body adjusting its schedule. When you were younger, you probably went to bed later and slept later. But now, your body might be ready for bed at 9 p.m. or even earlier. So by 3 a.m., you've already had 6 hours of sleep, which might feel like enough to your body. Even if it's still dark outside. It's like your internal clock has slowly moved forward, little by little over the years. This doesn't mean anything is wrong. It just means you're running on a new schedule now. Let's talk about Charles. He's 68 and recently retired. These days, he eats dinner at 5:30, watches a little TV, and is usually asleep by 9 p.m. so naturally. He starts waking up at, you guessed it, 3 a.m. At first, Charles thought he had insomnia. But once he learned about advanced sleep phase, everything clicked. He wasn't broken, he just needed to adjust. So Charles started staying up a little later. He began reading a good book in soft light after dinner, took a short walk in the evening, and sometimes called his daughter for a quick chat before bed. Those small changes helped his body shift back a bit. Now, he sleeps more soundly and wakes up closer to the time he wants. The truth is, your body loves routine. And when that routine shifts, understanding it can make all the difference. So if you're waking up around 3 a.m. and feel like you've already had a full night's sleep, it might just mean your bedtime came earlier than you realized. And with a few small changes, you can gently guide your schedule to match your life better. Reason number 3. Your body might be uncomfortable. Sometimes, the reason you're waking up at 3 a.m. is simple. Your body is trying to tell you something. It might be a little discomfort, a health issue, or even just a signal that something needs attention. As we get older, it's more common to deal with things like joint pain, acid reflux, needing to use the bathroom, or even changes in how warm or cold we feel at night. And while these things might seem small, they can be just enough to pull you out of sleep, especially during the quiet hours of the night. Let's take joint pain, for example. If you have arthritis or stiffness, lying in one position for too long might make you uncomfortable. You might not notice it when you first fall asleep, but after a few hours, it builds up and boom, you're awake. Or maybe you had dinner a little too late, and now you're feeling heartburn while you're lying down. That can also wake you up around 3 a.m. Even a dry mouth, leg cramp, or a cooler breeze from the window might be enough to interrupt your rest, especially because our bodies become more sensitive as we age. And here's one many older men deal with: the urge to urinate. As the bladder gets less flexible with age, it can't hold as much, and it sends out stronger signals. You may not notice it during the day, but at night when everything is quiet, that signal gets loud and clear. Once you get up and move, it can be hard to get back to sleep. Then there are medications. Many older adults take medicine for blood pressure, heart issues, or pain, and sometimes, those medications come with side effects like needing to pee more often, feeling too warm or too cold, or waking up more easily. Let's look at Eleanor. She's 76 and always considered herself a light sleeper. Lately, she started waking up at 3:30 a.m. almost every night. She thought it was just part of getting older, but after talking to her doctor, she found out that one of her medications was causing dehydration, which led to more bathroom trips at night. With her doctor's help, she changed the timing of her medication, made a few small adjustments to her habits, and now she sleeps more soundly. Here's the key message. Waking up because of your body doesn't mean your body is failing, it means it's working, it's alert. It's responding, it's asking for attention. These little wake-ups are like signals, and when you listen to them, you can make better choices for your comfort, your health, and your peace of mind. Reason number 4. Your daily habits might be shifting your sleep. Sometimes, waking up at 3 a.m. isn't about hormones or health, it's about your daily routine. As we get older, our lifestyles often slow down. We might eat dinner earlier, spend quieter evenings at home, or move around less during the day. And while these changes seem small, over time, they quietly reset your body's internal clock. Here's how it works. When you have a calm evening, dim lights, soft music, little activity, your brain starts to think it's bedtime, even earlier than usual. You might not notice, but by 8 or 9 p.m., your body is already getting sleepy. And if you fall asleep early, it makes sense that you wake up early, too, sometimes right around 3 a.m. Retirement can also play a role. Without things like work, commutes, or scheduled events, your body doesn't get the same time cues it used to. That can lead to earlier bedtimes and earlier wake-up times without you even realizing it. Food can be part of this too. If you eat dinner very early, and don't have a light snack before bed, your blood sugar can drop in the middle of the night. That dip doesn't always feel like hunger, but it can still wake you up. And don't forget about caffeine. Even if you only drink coffee in the early afternoon, your body may process it more slowly as you age, leaving just enough in your system to lighten your sleep. Let's talk about Walter. He's 74 and recently retired. Over time, his routine changed. He started having supper at 5 p.m., would doze off during the evening news, and go to bed before 9. Before he knew it, he was waking up at 3 a.m. wide awake and wondering why. Once Walter realized what was happening, He made a few gentle changes. He added a short walk in the afternoon, read under brighter light in the evening, and stopped napping after dinner. These small shifts helped push his sleep schedule just a little later and helped him wake up closer to the time he wanted. Here's the thing. Your body loves rhythm. When your daily rhythm shifts, your sleep shifts too. But the good news is you can gently guide it back. By noticing your habits and making small adjustments, you can help your body fall asleep later, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling more refreshed. Reason number 5. Sometimes it's your heart and mind that wake you up. Not every 3 a.m. wake up is caused by your body. Sometimes it's your mind or your heart gently calling for attention. As we grow older, life slows down. The busyness that once filled our days begins to fade. And in the quiet of night, old thoughts and feelings can rise to the surface. You might wake up at 3 a.m. not because of noise or pain, but because your mind is gently sorting through memories, past decisions, regrets, or moments you haven't thought about in a while. It's not like the racing anxiety you might have felt when you were younger. It's quieter. It's more reflective. You're not broken. You're remembering. You're feeling. Sometimes it's about loss. Sometimes it's about love. Sometimes it's simply a sense that something inside you still wants to be heard. And then there's loneliness, something many older adults quietly carry. During the day, you might be fine. You garden, you watch your shows, you call your family. But at night, when the world is still, the silence can feel a little louder. Let's take Gloria. She's 80 and widowed. Her days are full. She talks to her grandchildren, takes care of her plants, watches her favorite game shows. But around 3 a.m., she often wakes up with her thoughts drifting back to her late husband or to quiet worries she tucks away during the day. At first, Gloria thought something was wrong with her sleep. But then she realized it wasn't her sleep. It was her heart. Now, she keeps a little journal by her bed. When she wakes up, she writes down what she's thinking about. Just a few lines, nothing fancy. And some nights, she listens to soft music, or writes a quick note to a friend. These gentle habits help calm her mind and she's able to fall back asleep with more peace. Here's the truth. The heart doesn't follow a schedule. It remembers when it wants. It feels when it's ready. And sometimes, it chooses 3 a.m. because that's when the world is quiet enough to listen. If you ever find yourself lying awake, feeling a little lost or reflective, try this. Don't fight it. Ask yourself, what is my mind trying to tell me? Sometimes, just giving those thoughts a quiet space can be enough. These moments might not be interruptions. They might be invitations to feel, to remember, and to honor the life you've lived. Final thoughts. Waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't mean something's wrong. So, what does it really mean when you wake up at 3 a.m.? It could be your hormones, it could be your internal clock, it might be your body telling you it's uncomfortable, or your mind asking you to listen. But here's what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean you're broken, it doesn't mean you've failed, and it definitely doesn't mean you're alone. In fact, these wake-ups can be a gentle message from your body or your heart, saying, hey, something's changing, pay attention, be kind to yourself. As we age, everything shifts: our sleep, our routine, our emotions, even our memories. But that doesn't have to be scary. It can be a time of deep understanding and grace. So the next time you wake up in the quiet hours before dawn, try not to get frustrated. Instead, take a breath. Ask yourself gently, what is my body telling me? What is my heart feeling? These early hours can be a moment of peace, a chance to reflect, to reset, to simply be with yourself. You're not just aging. You're evolving. And with that evolution comes the chance to care for yourself in a new way, more gently, more mindfully, and with more compassion than ever before. Thank you for spending this time with us today. If something in this message spoke to you, we'd love to hear about it. Please leave a comment and share one thing you learned or one small change you'd like to make. Your voice matters, and we're honored to be part of your journey.